Happy Monday, everybody. My name is Edwin Edebury, and I am the Chief Happiness Officer with the I Am Happy Project and also the Happy Neighborhood Project. I want to say thank you, for joining us this morning. And this is my way of setting the tone for the week, for helping everyone create a foundation of happiness. I started this after I came across a research that shows people just have challenge getting up on Monday and starting up the week. And everybody's excited about Friday, but I want people to just be as excited about Monday. So that's what this Happy Monday call is all about. So please help to spread the word. If you have not downloaded our app, download the Happy Button app. Go to happybuttonapp.com and you can follow. But also you can join our YouTube channel at Ask the CHO. So if you go to YouTube in the search, just type in Ask the CHO, HASK THECHO, and share this, folks, to everybody that you come across. This is to everybody, help people up. Okay, so today, folks, I'm going to be talking about a subject that people don't like to talk about these days, and yet it is something that is affecting a lot of people's happiness. I mean, like you will not believe it. As a matter of fact, over the weekend, I was so, moved by it, that I am looking at, doing something more concrete to help to really, reduce this in the best way possible. And I got, I don't know if Gwendolyn is on the call or not, but I got an email from her, and it was an article on depression. So you already know where I'm going with this. So today, folks, we are going to talk about depression and happiness. And before I go on, because this is such a serious topic, I need to make very clear, folks, I am not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a counselor, I'm not trained in any of those areas at all. I'm just a guy that have an audience, and I want to spread the word. I want to encourage people to understand that, you can be happy even with depression. Okay, so I know that's a very bold statement, but I think I've done enough research to be able to come to that conclusion. In short, I read about a gentleman that was very depressed, and he said, yes, he has a spur of joy in his life, and he embraced those joy, although he gets scared about it because it's sometimes sending back into more depression, or it makes the depression even 50 times, I think that was the word he used, 50 times more difficult, And so there is a little back in the head of being scared about being happy. Now, folks, I know for those of you that have not experienced depression, that might sound weird, and it did to me at first. Before I started doing research, why should people be scared about being happy? Why should they be? And then I started to understand what these people go through. So again, folks, this talk today is not designed to be an all-out kind of solution. It's more to be an awareness. And there's a couple of things I'm going to say up front before I even go into any more details about this whole chapter for today. Is if you are feeling depressed, or you know anyone that is feeling depressed, please encourage them to seek help. And I know that there's not enough help out there because I've done enough research to that fact. However, there are some help. So if you feel depressed or you know anybody that is depressed, seek help. And if you know anybody that is depressed, don't be judgmental. Okay, don't try to tell them they are this or that or not that because you don't know what is going on in their head, okay? And so that brings me to the second thing, folks. If you are depressed, or again, you know anyone that's depressed, don't be ashamed of it. Folks, according to World Health Organization, that's WHO, depression is now the leading cause of illness and disability worldwide. affecting an estimated 322 million people worldwide, including more than 16 million Americans. Globally, rate of depression increased by 18% between 2005 and 2015. So you cannot tell me that something that affects 322 million people that you will be ashamed if you happen to be unfortunate and be one of those people. So remove the shame. And for those of you folks who know folks who are depressed, don't shame them. That stigma is already very high. Now, here is the other thing that I want to really drive home. If you are hearing voices, don't ignore it. It is real. Just because it's in your head does not make it not real. Now, I understand the challenges that we have to deal with when we are dealing with something from the outside. Now, imagine when it's something that's inside your head, how tough that will be. So, today, folks, I want to talk about depression and happiness. And especially, I'm speaking to those of you who don't experience that kind of bout. You're not having depression. I want you to reach out. In short, I was so inspired that I'm going to be starting a whole new campaign, and it's going to take some time to work out the details. I'm talking with my technical people, to be able to program something into our app and into our website. At first I was going to call it check on. But then as I do more research, I start to realize even the check on might have a stigma to it, that, somebody have a problem or somebody need help. And so people might not want to be checked on. So I think I'm going to be calling it reach out. Okay, folks, we need to reach out, because here is something that I have learned in my research. The moment somebody becomes depressed, they reverse the reward that we all take for granted. I think it's called reward distortion or something like that. Again, I'm not a technical person in this. And so they try to stay away from people because they start to think, well, if they go and hang out with people and they bring the mood down, and people are going to be irritated because they cause them not to have fun, and so it's just better off they don't go out and hang with people and just be by themselves. And then being by themselves worsens the situation, but it's a spiral downward thing, that they just start alienating people. And of course, the more you alienate people, the less fun is in your life. We are all social beings. We need to be around other human beings. Even introverts still needs to be around people sometimes. And so part of the program is going to be reaching out, and I know this can happen because I'm a programmer myself. So we're going to program somewhere in the app or the website where people can register that need people to reach out to them. And we're also going to have those who volunteer. And some of you folks as ambassadors, you can use some of your 5 hours towards that to reach out to other people. And just log it. So I'm going to be providing detail because this is so serious, folks. Imagine if this thing grow 18% in 10 years, what will happen in the next 10 years? And what about the next 10 years? If we are spreading happiness, folks, we have to figure out how to be more inclusive, how to get more people involved in the whole spread of happiness. So today, folks, I want to kind of share just some simple stuff of all the research that I kind of came across. I think this gentleman kind of hit the nail on the head. So his name is Dr. Kevin Arnold. Okay, Dr. Kevin Arnold. And I'm going to try to reach out to him and maybe interview him in one of these calls where he can provide some more details. But here is what he kind of shared, and he talks about reward erosion. What is that? Again, folks, remember now, I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist or any of these things, so I'm just throwing the word out there to start a conversation. So that way when you see somebody that's depressed, don't depress them more, don't push them down. You don't know what they're going through until you can go into their head. Okay, it talks about reward erosion and how we kind of reverse. Everybody feels sad when something happens. I think I've shared this plenty of time in the past. Being sad is one of life emotion. It actually is a desirable one. Sadness is a normal emotion. It's when it starts to take over our life. That's when we start to get into problems. So here are 5 things that he said, and I'm going to just say very quickly, and hopefully I can reach out to him. And I want to encourage folks, if you're depressed, do some research. There's so much information out there. If you know somebody that's depressed, help them with some of this research, and just be compassionate. Just be there. You don't need to know everything. You don't even need to have the solution. Just be there. And I'm telling you, the moment they start to realize that, they're going to open up more. They're going to take more risk. When nobody is judging them, they're going to be more open. When they can come to an event, they can come to a barbecue and just be themselves, good or bad. Folks, it doesn't have to be good all the time. But the moment you can recognize that. So here are the 5 steps. Number 1, find your values. Okay, find your values. We all learn from early age, some of the things we like and some of the things we don't like. What are those? Number 2, it talks about defining joy. Now that you have a better understanding of your value, review how you found joy and value in life. Number 3, become a pleasure scientist. I kind of crack up when I read that. Become a pleasure scientist. This step is more like a country 2 steps. First, make a commitment to see how it feels to do some of the things on your list. Then just do it. Don't be judgmental. You're experimenting here. And then step 4, accept all your feelings, even the bad ones. And then step 5, keep walking on the shoreline. It's a life really is like a shoreline with the water experience providing both joy and sadness. So that is Dr. Arnold. Again, Kevin Arnold. It's 5 simple steps to say yes to happiness and no to depression. And I'm going to really try to reach out to Dr. Kevin and see if we can bring him here so that some other stuff that he might be able to share with people. So, folks, that is my talk for today, and today is happiness and, is depression and happiness. Okay.
Good morning, Colin.
With 322 million people, I'm sure some of you on the call right now, either you're going through depression yourself or you know people who are depressed. All I'm saying, as people that are part of the Happy Neighborhood Project, and even those of you that are not part of the Happy Neighborhood Project, let's be compassionate to others. Let's be compassionate to others. So that's what I have to say today. My name is Edwin Edebiri, the Chief Happiness Officer, and part of the whole tradition here is we focus on happiness so we can expand happiness in our life so happiness can grow in our life. So I'm going to count to 2, and if we just say Happy Monday to each other. 1, 2.
Happy Monday!
Happy Monday!
All right. Thank you very much, and you guys stay happy.